At the end of my M-Cave video, the part 3 of my M-Cave video series, I talked about how I was going to be releasing a subscriber story soon. That subscriber story was an alien abduction account, and it's like the day after I uploaded part 3, I got an email from another abductee, totally different abductee, who actually sent me a video of himself narrating his abduction account, and he gave me permission to use this video. So that's what you're going to see now. I'm choosing to upload this video before the other abduction account because the other one I was going to have to narrate myself, and with my work schedule this week has been a little bit hectic. And the only thing that I had to do in this video is to change the guy's voice because he wanted his voice altered for obvious reasons. You know, a lot of abductees do not want to be harassed by trolls and naysayers and whatnot. So, anyway, this is a really, really interesting story that you're about to hear, and this abductee was abducted by a group of aliens that you don't hear about a whole lot. So, without further ado, here's the story.
Okay, I'm going to tell the story of my psychic alien abduction. I have been practicing psychic things as a hobby for about 10 or 15 years. It's just a hobby. Some people play guitar, I do this. And many years ago, my interest in aliens started when I saw a documentary called Interview with an Alien, where a man from Area 51 claimed he got an interview with an alien that was done telepathically, because aliens are psychic telepaths. They don't have vocal cords, they can't speak, it's all telepathic. And I saw the documentary and I said to myself, this is real. This isn't fake, this is real. This is what I'm studying in class. These creatures are really smart. And that's where my interest in aliens began. Many people who study psychic things are into aliens. Many of the best psychics are into them. I was in a crystal shop the other day, and they had books on crop circles and psychics and things like that. It's very simple. When someone's better at your hobby than you admire them. And there's one man who's a psychic who I'm very fond of called Uri Geller, and he has claimed his entire life that aliens gave him his psychic powers. He has claimed this his entire life. So it became my fantasy to be given psychic powers by aliens like him. And I fantasized about this quite a bit, because that's like my life dream. And one day I was lying in bed at 2 in the morning. And in my bedroom there's no windows, there's only a window in the roof. And a giant white light just flew by my bedroom. It was above the houses but below the sky, and it just went really fast, like 1 second to go across half a city, and I couldn't work out whether it was a bird, a plane, a meteor, or what this white light was. And I got up and I said, "Whoa, what was that?" And I couldn't see it, so I went back down into bed. And I started feeling these feelings circulating up and down my body in waves, as if I was being teleported into another dimension. It would start at my feet, go up to my head and back down to my feet. And it was very strong, and I was getting very paranoid. I thought aliens were going to abduct me. So eventually I started walking around in the middle of the night because I thought aliens were going to abduct me. And I was looking in the mirror to check if my body is okay. Yep, everything's there, I'm fine. My feet were still there. It was mainly on my feet, and eventually I was walking around for about half an hour, And then eventually I lay down in bed, and it was very late and I needed to go to sleep. And this feeling was circulating up and down my body as if I was being teleported into another dimension. And next thing, my thoughts were being altered by whatever flew by. It was almost like whatever flew by was reaching inside my brain and altering my thoughts to blackmail me. Like it was saying to my, like it was going inside my brain and altering my thoughts to torture me, to say to me, do as I say or there will be trouble. So I was absolutely terrified. I didn't know what was going on. I thought aliens were going to abduct me, and eventually I just had to go to sleep. It was too late. And many nights later, about maybe a week, I had an instant. As a man who practices psychic abilities, I'm very good at feeling things. I'm very good at feeling people's emotions, feeling trauma. Many nights later, I was lying in bed, and this feeling wave going up and down my body as if I was being teleported was going on again. And next thing I started feeling something in my face, as if someone was opening up my mouth and sticking a battery inside my mouth. I've recently had a lot of dental work, so whatever flew by knew that my teeth have had a lot of work lately. It was almost like whatever flew by was using my psychic sense of touch to say to me, you're going to get a lot more dental work when we're done with you. That was kind of the message I was getting. The first encounter was as if it was saying, yep, we're up here. You're looking for us, we're just up here waiting for you. The second encounter was as if they were making fun of me getting dental work. So this is my psychic alien encounter, the first one. And I'd often tell my friend this story, and he used to say to me, oh, you mean that white light that just went zoom? I'd say yes. He'd say, oh yeah, I saw that as well. And my friend never really told me the full extent of what went on with him. But eventually he used to always talk to me about this white light that he saw as well at 2 in the morning. And finally he told me a story. He said that white light communicated with him as well. He said he was in his back garden one day and he lost all interest in life. And he looked up at the sky and in his mind he said, show me something. Nothing. So he realised he was a bit stupid. So he sat back down and was doing something in his back garden at 2 in the morning. And he looked up again and the white light just went zoom, right above his head. When he said the words show me something, he meant he was talking to God. And he said he was nearly crying, and he said it was almost like when he lost all faith in life and he looked up at the sky and said show me something, the white light was there. Now he described this white light at 2 in the morning, roughly at the same time as me, so whatever it was, it made communication with both me and him. Somehow it knew we were friends, and it made deep personal communication with us both. What I did was very stupid. I fantasized about meeting aliens and they obviously showed me something in the sky. You see, the way it works is this: aliens are telepathic. They don't have vocal cords, they can't speak. It's all done telepathically. And they're 1,000 billion times smarter than us. So if a human psychic can do things like dowsing for oil and finding missing people, then creatures 7,000 million times more intelligent than us can tell that there's a man who wants to meet them. And they can also reach inside my life and make fun of me by making fun of the fact that I've had dental work and stuff, and talking to my friend as well when he's thinking as well. This is the level of intelligence they have. A human psychic could maybe find oil if they're very good. There's very few people who can do that. An alien can just tell everything about everything when they're flying around the world. This is how smart these creatures are. They're very, very, very intelligent. And a couple of months later, I was lying in my bed and I woke up in the middle of the night. I kind of do that sometimes. and I looked out my bedroom window, and it was light. It was about 5 in the morning, and a gigantic, big, massive metal disc just floated above my bedroom. So I quickly stood up and said, "Whoa, what the hell was that?" And I looked around and it was gone. It just was there for a second, gone. This thing was the size of a shopping centre, or shopping mall as you say in America. It was massive. And it was just gone. It just appeared for a second, it was gone. So I looked around and I just realised it's gone, it's very late, I have to go back to bed. And just as I sat down, a light beam came down and it penetrated right the way through my ceiling. And it hit me and I couldn't move. It was like full body paralysis and I couldn't move. It was like pain, but there was no pain. I can't really describe it. And my body twisted and turned and I roared screaming as loud as I could. And as I screamed, no words came out. And I was worried if I might wake up the people in my house because I was screaming, but nothing came out. And I remembered saying to myself, "Oh well, I'm getting abducted by aliens now." And next thing, it was all over. I woke up the next morning, and it just happened in the middle of the night, and I have no memory of before, no memory of after. And that was it. And it frightened the living daylights out of me. So I'm convinced that obviously in my fantasies of meeting aliens, someone out there has obviously heard me and is paying me a visit. And when I was making a video for another channel about this, I saw a flash of light in the sky, and I said to myself, "Okay boys, what you gonna do to me this time?" Just a flash of light as I was making the video. So it's almost like whatever flew by was saying to me, you know, "We know you're making this video, just waving hello." And I started hallucinating again. And it was almost like it was reaching inside my brain and altering my thoughts, just to kind of make communication with me. And I was paranoid as to whether the thoughts were my own, or whether the thoughts were to do with whatever flew by in the sky, that flash of light. And I knew that these thoughts were not my own. They were very clever in going, strong enough to the point that my thoughts are altered, but weak enough to the point that I was paranoid that it was all in my head. But I know that this was not all in my head. Whatever flew by was making communication with me. And another thing is I'm actually a dowser. A dowser is a person who goes through the fields looking for water. And I've asked my pendulum and my dowsing rods, how many times have I been in contact with aliens? And they say, 4. I've said, which planet has abducted me? They've said the browns, not the greys, the browns, the huge big brown ones. And then I ask specific questions like, no, how many times have I been abducted? 4. I don't know what it is with this number 4 and the browns, but it's almost as if whatever flew by, I'm not too sure if these are my real results, or if the aliens have scrambled my brain so that I get the answer 4. And so that when I ask which planet, it says the browns. Because the greys are the bad guys and the browns are a bit better. So I could be abducted by the brown ones, or the greys could have abducted me and mangled my subconscious so that I get the answer brown when I'm dowsing. I really don't know. But it is common for aliens to, and as for when I said that I was hallucinating, it is common for aliens to cause you to hallucinate. They do this to get you to do what they want. When they're on the craft, they reach inside your brain and get you to hallucinate so that they can get you to do things and things like that. They know how to reach inside your brain. Okay, that is my psychic alien abduction story. You are welcome to study psychic things as a hobby. There's people on YouTube teaching them. Do not fantasize about being given psychic powers by aliens, because What I did was very stupid.
One of the perks, one of the absolutely marvelous things about running a channel like mine is that people begin to reach out to you, people who have had incredible experiences. And I think in the future, I want to do a lot more videos just about personal accounts, whether I'm narrating them myself, as I'll be doing in my next video, which, as I said, is a completely different abductee, and that individual is probably watching this video, so yes, your account is next. So yeah, I'm really interested to know what you guys think of this particular account, and if you want to see more content like this. So leave your comments, and one thing that I'll ask is please be respectful to the individuals sharing their account, whether you're a skeptic or a believer. All I ask is that you just be respectful. And that's all I got. Thanks. Hey everyone, Drew here from Mad Cat Mysteries, and I hope you enjoyed the video you just watched. If you did, you can click on the subscribe button below. I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.